The Pyrrhus Concer project is a grassroots effort to bring people the story of a fascinating and inspiring individual named Pyrrhus Concer. Before describing the project, we would like to first share with you a brief summary of that story. Pyrrhus Concer was born here in Southampton, New York on March 17, 1814. Today, Southampton is known worldwide for its fantastic beaches and its reputation as a summer getaway for the wealthy and famous. Southampton also, however, has a rich historical legacy which stretches back to the Native American peoples of the area, including the Shinnecock tribe, who are still active members of the community today, and to its founding as the first English settlement in New York State in 1640. During Pyrrhus Concer's time, Southampton was predominantly a farming and fishing economy. He was born a slave to slave parents owned by the Pelletreau family in a house overlooking Agawam Pond, which still stands today, and lived the first years of his life working on their farm. Slavery in New York State was outlawed in 1827, and Pyrrhus became a free man. At age 18, he signed on to a whaling expedition out of nearby Sag Harbor, New York, which was then a prominent whaling port where many ambitious young men sought their fortune. In addition to the possibility of adventure and wealth, the diverse whaling community offered gainful employment opportunities not otherwise available to people of color in that era. In May of 1848, Pyrrhus Concer sailed out of Sag Harbor as a boat steerer aboard the whaling ship Manhattan, captained by one of Southampton's most renowned historical figures, Mercator Cooper, whose home today sits on the site of the local public library. That 3-year voyage was another leg in a remarkable life journey. After traveling by sail over 18,000 nautical miles in search of the great sperm whales and their treasure of oil, the Manhattan ventured into the Pacific waters south of Japan, where Captain Cooper landed at the unpopulated island of St. Peter's, known today as the Bonin Islands, in search of fresh food for his crew. In addition to the turtle meat they found there, the Manhattan's crew also discovered, to their surprise, a total of 22 shipwrecked Japanese sailors who, once they realized they would not be killed, boarded the Manhattan for transport back to Japan. At this time in history, Japan was completely closed to the Western world, and the Manhattan was surrounded by Japanese warships in Tokyo Bay. It was only through careful diplomacy and challenging translation that a peaceful exchange was made. Pyrrhus Concer's role in this effort should not be underestimated. It was said that the Japanese sailors, and ultimately even the emperor when he came aboard, were astounded by Concer's dark skin and soothed by his melodic voice when he sang to them his slave tunes and spirituals. The Manhattan encounter and the map they obtained is in part credited in paving the way for Commodore Matthew Perry's breakthrough visit to Japan 8 years later. Following this grand adventure, Pyrrhus Concer went on to travel with another group of Southamptonites to California during the Great Gold Rush of 1849. That party did not strike it rich. Eventually, Concer returned to his native Southampton, where he married his wife Rachel and lived out the rest of his life in a small cottage on Lake Agawam. In his later years, he supplemented his income by operating a small sailing vessel which transported passengers back and forth across Agawam from the village to the beach. Pyrrhus Concer died in Southampton on August 23, 1897, at the age of 84. In his will, he left an endowment to the First Presbyterian Church of Southampton to be used for the purpose of Christian education. Pyrrhus Concer is buried in the North End graveyard with one of the most distinctive markers among the mostly plain headstones. The inscription on it reads, "Though born a slave, he possessed virtues, without which kings are but slaves." To celebrate the 200th birthday of this remarkable man, we would like to re-establish a ferry boat service to traverse Lake Agawam during the summer of 2014. This boat, which would be christened the Pyrrhus Concer, would serve as a living legacy to a remarkable man, and be a reminder to all that great voyages can be undertaken by those bold enough to sail forth, yet grounded enough to return home again.